Have you ever wondered why time seems to crawl when you are waiting, but flies when you are having fun? Or how a fly manages to evade your swatter with such ease? Well, today, we're diving into the intriguing world of time perception in humans and animals. Humans experience time in a unique way. Our brain interprets every millisecond and decade through a complex dance of neurons and consciousness. But our perception of time isn't just a ticking clock. It's influenced by a number of factors, such as emotions, attention, age, and even our cultural background. When we are happy, time seems to fly by. Yet in moments of boredom or stress, it drags. This phenomenon is rooted in how our brains process emotions and allocates attention. We will explore this later in the video, but how does this compare to the animal kingdom? Animals have evolved to perceive time in ways that are crucial to their survival. Each species experiences the passage of time differently, tailored to their specific needs in the world. Consider a canine dog. They often wait for hours for their owners to return, showing a remarkable sense of patience. This isn't just loyalty, it's a different perception of time. For dogs, the long hours of waiting might not feel as prolonged as they would to us. This sense of time allows them to endure these periods of waiting without the same sense of urgency or impatience that humans might feel. Now, look at the common housefly. When we try to swat it, the fly seems to react with incredible agility, but there's more to it than just swift movements. Flies perceive time at a much faster rate compared to humans. For a fly, our movements appear significantly slower. This altered perception of time gives them the advantage of reacting to threats much quicker than we can perceive, almost as if they are experiencing the world in slow motion. Now let's get into factors influencing time perception between humans and animals. There are various factors that influence time perception. For one, children experiencing many things for the first time perceive time as longer than adults. Similarly, our perception can change based on our environment and activities. This is not just a human trait. Animals too have evolved to perceive time in ways that best suit their survival. Now let's focus on the human factors for one. Starting off with attention. The amount of attention we pay to the passage of time can greatly influence our perception of it. When we are focused on a task or enjoying ourselves, we pay less attention to the passage of time, and it seems to pass quickly. Conversely, when we are bored or waiting, we focus more on time and it seems to drag. Consider reading a very good book versus waiting in a long line. In the first scenario, hours might fly by unnoticed, while in the second, every minute feels prolonged. Secondly, the emotional state. Our emotions can distort our perception of time. Positive emotions like happiness or excitement can make time feel like it's passing faster. In contrast, negative emotions such as sadness or anxiety can make time feel like it's slowing down. And then thirdly, we have age. Age affects how we perceive time. Children experiencing many things for the first time may perceive time as moving more slowly. As we age, familiar routines might make time seem to pass more quickly. More on this in another video. Then we have biological factors. Our body's biology, including our brain function, can influence how we perceive time. Factors like fatigue, hunger, or being under the influence of stimulants can alter our perception of time. For example, when you're extremely hungry, time until your next meal might seem to stretch on. And then lastly, we have mental and physical health. Our mental and physical health status can influence our perception of time. For instance, certain mental health conditions can alter the perception of time. For example, people experiencing depression often report that time seems to pass by slowly. Now, let us break down some factors that influence the time perception of animals. Starting off with size and metabolism. There is a correlation between the size of an animal and its metabolic rate, which in turn influences its perception of time. Smaller animals with faster metabolic rates often perceive time as passing more slowly than larger animals, allowing them to react to stimuli more rapidly. For example, A fly with its small size and high metabolic rate perceives the movements of a human hand as slow, giving it time to escape. Then we've got neurological processing speed. The speed at which an animal's nervous system processes information can affect its perception of time. Animals with faster neural processing can perceive more frames per second, making their perception of time slower. Birds like pigeons or hummingbirds, which process visual information rapidly, can see and react to things faster than humans. Then we have lifespan and aging. An animal's lifespan can influence its time perception. Short-lived animals might perceive time differently compared to longer-lived animals. For example, a mayfly which lives for a very short period might experience a single day very differently from a human. Then we have ecological niche and predatory status. The ecological role of an animal can shape how it perceives time. Predators and prey may experience time differently based on their survival needs. Predators like cheetahs might perceive time in bursts of speed, while prey animals are constantly vigilant with a seemingly stretched perception of time for rapid reaction. Then we have sensory capabilities. The type and sensitivity of an animal's senses can impact its perception of time. Animals with a high developed senses might process information differently. Birds using echolocation perceive their environment and time differently from animals relying mainly on vision. And then we have circadian rhythms, the internal biological clocks of animals, which dictate circadian rhythms, influence their perception of time, especially in terms of daily and seasonal cycles. For example, nocturnal animals like owls have a different time perception linked to their activity at night. And lastly, environmental factors. The animal's environment, including factors like temperature, light, and habitat complexity, can influence their perception of time. For example, Arctic animals might experience time differently during continuous daylight or darkness in polar seasons. In closing, the perception of time in humans versus animals is a vivid illustration of how different species have evolved to interact with their environment in unique ways. Humans perceive time through a multifaceted lens, influenced by psychological, emotional, and cultural factors, while animals, on the other hand, have a time perception that is more directly tied to their biological and environmental needs. Now, if you found this video interesting, please share your thoughts in the comment section below and what we should cover next. Hit the like button, subscribe for more science-based content, and until next time, stay enthusiastic.